Imagine a huge fire. Let's say there's a house on fire and people are coming up to that fire with little Dixie cups to try to put the fire out, okay, versus a big old hose that the fire department has to put the fire out, which is going to be more effective. Well, we all know the answer, right? Dixie cups on a big raging fire are not very effective. And I want you to remember this analogy as we begin to get into this presentation talking about supplementation versus activation. I'm Therese, and I'm a nurse. I work at St. Mary's Hospital here in Grand Junction, and I'm also a yoga instructor and a consultant for LifeVantage. So let's talk a little bit more. What is supplementation versus activation? Looking at the definition. Well, the definition of supplementation is pretty straightforward. It's basically a quantity added. So you're basically taking something. It's usually, a supplement like a pill, like vitamin C, any antioxidant. I'm just using antioxidants as an example. You take a pill, right? And that pill is supposed to add a little benefit to your body. Versus activation, where activation is the action or process of making something active or operative. In this case, we're talking about the cell. We're actually making our cells active. So going back to that analogy of the fire is going to be your body, or the body being damaged by, aging, oxidative stress. We'll get into that in a minute. When you're supplementing, you're taking something that's good, you're helping, but it's like throwing a Dixie cup on versus activating our cells. Our cell, when you activate it, every single cell is going to work the way it did when we were younger. And so we are able to address issues, disease, other things that happen. And so this is a picture that I just love, showing two women, both 80 years old, how they lived, determined how they live, right? What they're doing in their lives. The woman on the left is a bodybuilder. She has continued to work hard as she ages, versus the woman on the right who probably, sat at home and watched TV a lot and didn't stay active. So what we do in our lives affects how we age. There is a new science that is just on the forefront. It's only about 20 years old, and it's called nutrigenomics. Nutrigenomics is the study of how nutrients interact with our genes, how what we eat, what we take, supplementation wise, is affected. Okay, nutrigenomics is one of the most exciting, revolutionary, and cutting edge fields in nutrition, genetics, and modern medicine. And LifeVantage is at the cutting edge of nutrigenomics. So the first thing that we're going to look at is something called NRF2 activation. And when I talk about activating your cell, well, NRF2 is a pathway that is in every single cell in our body. It is a very powerful pathway. It's a pathway that signals the cell to make antioxidants. So antioxidants in our bodies, if every single cell is activated, that is what fights off something called oxidative stress. What is oxidative stress? I know I'm throwing a lot of big terms at you right now, but oxidative stress is basically, it's the new term for free radical cell damage. Free radicals are what happen when we consume oxygen. It breaks down, and free radicals are like the bad guys. They actually will damage your cells, and they just kind of make them all ugly. normally our body fights off free radical damage by making antioxidants. As we get older, our body doesn't do as well. And so what if we could activate this pathway that signals the cell to make antioxidants? And by the way, antioxidants are, in free radical damage, I'll get the right word, free radical damage or oxidative stress is what causes inflammation. Big word, right? Nearly every disease is linked to inflammation, any itis that you have. Okay, so Washington State University came out with this statement because this pathway is so powerful. This is potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Very, very important. Oxidative stress, if you look at it from the outside, there's a really good example to illustrate what oxidative stress looks like. Taking an apple, cutting it in half, and letting it sit. Turns brown, it gets wrinkled. That is oxidative stress. In our bodies, this is what is happening to our cells because we aren't making enough antioxidants to fight off that damage. And you see our cells get gunky, ugly. We get old. This is one of the root causes of aging. So LifeVantage in 2003 developed this product. It's called Protandim NRF2 Synergizer. Synergizer, activator, they mean the same thing, right? And what they discovered when they put these 5 herbs together, the herbs are turmeric, milk thistle, green tea, bacopa, and ashwagandha. They put these 5 powerful, they're all antioxidants, right? They put them together though, and they found that they activated this NRF2 pathway, activating the cell to make these antioxidants, to reduce inflammation. And we were able to show that we can reduce oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days in 100% of people. So we're getting the fire hose out and we are just really wiping out the fire of inflammation with Protandim NRF2. When I started taking this product, I have degenerative disc disease in my low back. And like I mentioned, I'm a yoga instructor. Well, I was starting to get to the point where I couldn't touch my toes without it hurting. I couldn't do my crazy yoga poses, bringing my leg behind my head. Couldn't do them anymore. It was hurting. I started this product and I'm, not even thinking that it's going to help my back. But in 3 months, I could touch my toes again without it hurting. I could do my dancer pose like I hadn't done in years. And here I am 5 years later, I'm still teaching yoga. Not that it's perfect. It still sometimes aches, but it's so much better than it was. So I am so sold by these products, just by what it has done for me. So we have several pathways in our body. And so I'm going to turn the mic over to Rhonda Ford. She is a former occupational therapist and also a consultant for LifeVantage. And we're going to talk about the NRF1 pathway. She's going to talk about the NRF1 pathway.
Thank you, Therese. So we have a second pathway, and it's called the NRF1 pathway. So going back to 8th grade biology, we all learned about our mighty mitochondria. The role of the mitochondria, if you remember, it's the powerhouse of the cell, and it's the energy that our bodies need to function. As we age, we lose more and more of our mitochondria, and we get tired more easily. We tend to take more naps and we don't sleep as well at night. It's like a car battery that when it's new, it runs just great. And as time goes on, less and less energy comes out of that battery. It gets tired and it finally fails. So mitochondria are necessary for energy production and they protect the blueprint of our cell. If that blueprint gets messy, our cells don't know how to act. So besides producing the ATP energy, mitochondria also help to maintain our glutathione levels, which is our immunity. They also protect our DNA. They signal cell reproduction and they activate cell apoptosis. Now that's kind of a big word. And so all that means is the ability to move across membranes to communicate with our muscles and with our brains. And it's a maintenance of cell electrochemical integrity. Okay, next slide, Therese.
Maybe. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Thank you. Another thing NRF1 does is it helps with our sleep. And healthy sleep patterns are key to our body's ability to heal ourselves from within. That's when we're able to achieve that deep REM sleep. That's when our body can really turn on its healing energy. And NRF1 helps to produce this. So like the NRF2, the NRF1 is made up of 5 ingredients, and you may be taking 1 or 2 of these already, and they're all good products in and of themselves. But when they're stacked together, it's the synergy of the 5 of them working together that causes or allows the activation of this pathway. So let's look at the nutrients. There's acetyl L-carnitine, quercetin, alpha lipoic acid, grape extract, and coenzyme Q10. And what happens is these ingredients, as they activate your pathway, it's like turning on a switch, an energy switch in your body. And science has shown us that we can actually increase our energy by 70% by activating this pathway. And who wouldn't want that? The benefits are obviously, besides more energy, this ability for your body to reach that deep, good REM sleep. And I noticed when I started taking the products, I used to have to sit down on the couch and rest my back from a previous energy. And it just, there was aching in there, and I was tired, and I'd fall asleep while I was sitting down resting. When I started the NRF2 and the NRF1 combined, one day I noticed that aching was no longer there. Like Therese, my back just felt so much better. And when your back feels good, the rest of your body feels good, and you're able to be a lot more active. I have not had a daily nap since I started on these products, and I look forward to going to bed at night because I know I'm going to sleep very well. Thank you, Therese.
Thank you, Rhonda. I have to tell you, my husband, he's on this, and he ran out of the product. He's out of town, and so I had to ship him another bottle. And he the first night he took it again, he was out of it for like maybe 5 or 6 days. He goes, "Oh my gosh, I slept so good last night. The only thing I did different is I took my NRF1 again." So it's like, yeah, it works. Okay, we have another pathway. We have hundreds of pathways in our bodies, but we have another activator that we developed about 2 years ago, and this is called protandem NAD synergizer. If you've ever done any research on aging, you may have heard of sirtuins, and NAD is like the fuel for sirtuins. Sirtuins affect our aging process. And I'm going to have Farron talk about this tonight. So Farron, if you could unmute yourself, are you there? Yes. Farron Barbado is also a consultant with us, and she is retired. She was able to retire and is just working this and really loving life with her grandkids.
Thank you, Therese. So the pathway NAD is actually it's a pretty neat pathway. It's actually our longevity gene pathway, and LifeVantage came out with this in 2019, and they actually put it with the NRF1 and NRF2 to work with together the three different pathways. But I'm just going to focus on the NAD pathway at the moment. And the NAD pathway helps you with your focus, again, with your energy. So you can imagine if NRF1 and 2 are working with that, your mental clarity, and it helps with your mood. It also, again, is another way of helping with you maintaining your cholesterol levels. It supports a healthy vascular system. It supports well, we talked about the mental focus, but what I noticed about it when I started taking the NAD, I was doing the trisynergizer, which is the NAD, the NRF1 and NRF2. And when I started taking the three of them together, I love the NRF1 for the sleep because I was a sleep deprived person. But what I liked about when I added the NAD was it boosted my energy and it boosted my clarity during the day. I worked at a computer. I worked at a very boring job doing medical billing. And I would just sit there and basically, I really didn't talk to patients or anything. I just sit there and process their bills, and my days would get long, and towards the afternoons I could get sluggish and I would get cranky because I would get sluggish. But as I took these products, I noticed that that was fading away, and the clarity of my thinking lasted me through the day. Like by the end of the day, I was able to still focus and still have that clarity in my mind, which I hadn't had in a long time. My mind was actually on retiring, but that's beside the point. Anyway, NAD helps you with your circulation. Increases our cell signaling pathway with our sirtuins, as Teresa was talking about. So when you get older, 60%, as we age, 60% of our sirtuins start decreasing, and the sirtuins are like taking a train to the signaling the proteins in our NAD pathway. So it's a very important pathway as well as the 1 and 2. Here we are again with some more wonderful ingredients that synergistically work together. So for the NAD pathway, wasabi. I never would have thought that I would be taking a supplement with wasabi in it. Olive leaf extract. I can never pronounce that one. And then theresin. Theocrine. Okay, there we go. See, I knew I was going to do that one wrong too. I don't like these big words. But anyway, so those four ingredients in this one synergistically work together on the NAD pathway.
Okay, thank you so much. So as Farron alluded to, we have this we call it the protandem trisynergizer, attacking aging 3 ways. We have NRF2, NAD, and NRF1. And I think you get a pretty good picture of what each one does. But if you look at a cellular level, at a genetic level, what's actually happening, it is pretty amazing. If you look at this graph, it's kind of confusing, but the first bar is showing if, for example, this one is with just taking NRF2, and this is genetic response This is our antioxidant response, which increased by 40%, like I said, in 30 days. Look what happens if you take all three together. 78, 79, 78% increase. It's amazing. And look at this other gene. This is a gene for the healthy inflammatory response. So reducing inflammation with just NRF2, it goes up to 51%, 50%. And look at how much more it is when you put the three together. And these are just other examples that go across that show it's how much more when you put the three together, how much more function you'll get. So you can, you can purchase if you're just like, oh, I just want to sleep better. I just want that NRF1. That's great. If you just really want to clean the gunk out of your cells and go with the NRF2, you can do that. Or you can do all three together. So when I first heard about these products, I was like, I have to take it all. The stuff, I need it all, right? Once you hit 50s, it's like, your body is changing. It's aging, and you start to really feel things. And I didn't really want to spend, all the money. So that's why I became a distributor or a consultant. We're calling it consultants now, because I knew that there were some other people that I know that would benefit from these products. And I just am amazed at how interested people are in getting healthy, staying healthy, and not having to spend money on medications, which all have side effects. If we can address the root cause of disease, then we're not going to have to get into that sickness mode and have to get treated by medications. So I'm going to turn the meeting over to Julie now. Julie Keel is also a medical biller, and she works at Community Hospital, and she is also a consultant for LifeVantage. And she's just going to talk a little bit about this company, where we are, and if you did want to become a consultant, what that would look like.
Thank you, Therese. Like Therese said, I do work for Community Hospital. My why for joining this wonderful team is I am a breast cancer survivor. My why also is I would like to retire. So, and I don't want to sit behind the desk at the billing department anymore. So that's my why. But as you see on the screen, John Canonas, a lot of you are familiar with him. He tried to debunk products. Well, he tried to debunk Protandim NRF2. And it was the ABC Primetime Investigation Report. So he went and had his T-bar blood test done so that he had that starting point. He took the product for only 2 weeks and went and had that blood test again. And his blood levels, oxidative stress was reduced so much that he could not debunk the product. So he is currently still on it. The product has been sold NRF2 since 2003. It was going downhill because it was sold on GNC stores. And if you go into stores like that, you have no idea about these products. And all the information that you were just told by our 3 wonderful presenters, the clerk behind the desk did not know all of that. They didn't know if it was good for you, how it was made, what was in it. So it was just a guessing game when you go purchase it. So they went to direct sales in 2009. It is a debt-free company, and it is also traded on the NASDAQ. The call letters are LFVN. And so it has been around for a while, but nobody's really ever heard of it. So it's really interesting that it is just now becoming to light, at least for me. And it's global. Our company is global. If you see all these flags here, we're not just in the United States. It's a global company, and we keep growing to more countries. So if you know other people in other countries, you can share this information with them. It's an amazing company. It is made in the USA. So it is a US based company. But this is an exciting slide right here, because in 2020, network marketing as a whole, that's all of it, Mary Kay, Pampered Chef, all of those, including us, went up in sales to $325 billion in sales. Well, in 2020, COVID hit and we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't go shopping. We ordered online. It was delivered to our house. And so what is network marketing? You order it and it's delivered to your house. So this has become a trend. Amazon, look at Amazon, you know, everything's delivered. So it's never been better for network marketing than it is now. And like I said, LifeVantage is a debt-free company. In 2020, they became debt-free. You know, we're pushing against all odds here. You know, we're gonna have a pandemic thing go on, and we're gonna thrive. So it's a very awesome company. Global, like I said, it's publicly traded. Right here is the Peter Drucker curve. And if you take a look at it, you can see this purple line that comes up. And like Microsoft, Kleenex, you know how popular those are. And we should have bought stock in those a long time ago. That's what LifeVantage is right now. And if you see the asterisk down here, that little purple asterisk, that's where we are right now. And we're gaining momentum. And where you want to be is where that arrow is at the top, to where it is gaining all that momentum and you're flying over the top. And then we will be a branded name. So this is, if you're interested in things like this and you have your big why, which could be anything, you know, the word, dream big, stay healthy with the products and dream big. And you can be there with us as we go over that top. So with this, we do have different charts. This one is kind of outdated since we have converted to a new program March 1st. But with network marketing, you don't have to have any employees. You don't have to have any inventory, just what you want to keep on hand for yourself, for your family. The thing is you have your own website. LifeVantage emails you your website. If you have anybody you want to share it with, you give them your link and they can go on there and look at all the products. We do have a wonderful page on Facebook with lots of information and testimonies. All of us are a product of the product, and we all have our stories, our back stories, our knee stories, our cancer stories. We don't claim to treat, mitigate, or cure disease, but they are very beneficial and very natural. So if you're thinking it might be a good idea, take a look at this. It's a laptop lifestyle. And like I said, there is no employees. You don't have to answer to anybody. You can go on vacation, and if you choose, you can take a look and see what's going on. Or you can share your information with people while you're on vacation. I mean, it's just, it's open everywhere. I mean, you're not limited to anything at all. So if you are interested in anything, you just reach out to any one of us that invited you tonight, and we'll be very glad to help you. There is no pressure. We just want to share all this great information with you. Thank you, Therese.
Thank you, Julie. And just to close, I think that you listen to something like this, and there's many of us that, if this is the first time you've ever heard this information, you might be like, ooh, I want to do a little research. So please talk to us. We can direct you to a private Facebook group that will give you all of the information you need. There's so much research. There's so much information. If you're like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing, I want to get started, please connect with the person that invited you and we can get you started on some product. And some of you might be thinking, oh, I could make some money doing this. And if you're one of those, it's like, I can tell my friends, think about becoming a consultant. You know, there's lots of ways to move forward with this. And we're just really happy that you took the time to be here and to listen, and let us know how you want to move forward. So thank you again.
Thank you.